So democracy has its foundations in ancient Greece, where it's said to be the foundation of all Western civilization. It influenced everything from our politics, our religions, and even our educational systems. Students in this society didn't study for a job, but they studied just to become more effective citizens. The express goal of society was to lift all citizens in a quest for excellence. And it seems American society today has lost sight of this goal. It's an understatement to say America's version of democracy isn't living up to the great legacy that it inherited. We, instead of keeping these standards of excellence high, have chosen to lower them to mediocrity. Divorce is plaguing our society in its path, breaking apart the family unit and diminishing the value of marriage. Families that are lucky enough to have both parents at home aren't able to escape the infestation of obscenity produced by the media. Barack Obama states in his novel, The Audacity of Hope, compared to our grandparents, we're more likely to cohabit, more tolerant of premarital sex, and more likely to live alone. Although there are many aspects in our society that do need some tune-ups, I'm not saying that we're done for. I still see a lot of hope and have a lot of faith in our society. However, we will need to start taking some new paths and adjusting some current ones. In the next 5 minutes, you're going to see how American society is degrading due to lowered standards, high rates of divorce, and harmful media. I will also introduce some solutions that will help bring our society back to prominence. Lowering our academic standards to get more people into college is causing our society to settle for mediocrity. It seems our express goal is no longer to lift all citizens in a quest for excellence, but to lower the standards to fit the majority. Somehow we took a consensus that not enough people were getting into college in the U.S. So what do? Instead of bringing those individuals up, we lowered the standards and accommodated them with easier tests. According to Mike Krejci, an article from Time magazine, testing has become less rigorous and standards have been lowered and sometimes dropped completely all to keep individuals in college who really don't belong there. The hard facts are that some just don't have the wherewithal to do justice to higher education. But no one should take offense to the statement. It's like he said, it's just a fact of life. It's just like not making the football team or not making the school band. Some don't have the athletic abilities, some don't have the musical talents, and others just don't have the educational capabilities. But we are not to shun these people, for happiness is relative to the individual. It's just like getting a master's at Harvard. It might show brilliance and hard work, but it certainly doesn't guarantee happiness. And for the same reason, we should not compromise our standards of academic excellence just to make sure a few more people get into college. This is not the only aspect in our society that has been on the downfall. Let's compare two different situations of dinner in American society, the first being 50 years ago. So it's 1950. You and your brother are washing up, waiting for your mother to get home, and she's in her white apron, fixing her dad his favorite dinner. After she makes sure the dinner's ready, and both of you guys are ready, she gets herself ready for your father to get home. He arrives, you guys go and greet him, and then you rush to the dinner table. You guys say the family prayer before the meal, and spend a lot of time, more than enough to eat, while you conversate about each other's days. If you look at the same example 50 years later in today's society, which you might find is more along the lines of this. A single mother rushing home from work to fix her unsupervised children some dinner before she rushes off to her second job, just to try to make ends meet. None of the family bonding that was apparent in the first situation is apparent here. Most of the change in the examples that I just talked about is due to divorce. Divorce is deteriorating American society by demeaning marriage and breaking apart the family unit. Barack Obama also states in his novel, The Audacity of Hope, although divorce rates have declined by 21% in their peak since the 70s and early 80s, half of all marriages still end in divorce. There are many predictions as to why, but more importantly are the effects that it's having on the family unit and the institution of marriage itself. The family is constantly being disrupted, and the biggest disruption is divorce. Sarah Elioff, a professor from the University of Pennsylvania, says, in the wake of divorce, most custodial mothers exhibit decreased expectations for appropriate social behavior of their children. So not only does it break apart the family unit, but it brings about bad parenting, which in turn can become society's problem if the child becomes delinquent. Another issue we're facing with divorce is that it's demeaning matrimony. Americans are marrying, divorcing, and remarrying like it's a casual thing. Many experts believe for this reason that the institution of marriage is in danger. One of the main reasons for decline in marital success is that the motivation for marriage has become more purely hedonistic or more selfish, according to Glenn Norwell's article, What's Happening in Marriage, published in Time magazine. Also, according to Norwell's article, the easing of moral, religious, and legal barriers to divorce is leading to the cause of more marital failures. So pursuing policies that strengthen the institution of marriage for the two people who choose it, and the strengthening of barriers so that divorce isn't made a joke of, are sensible goals for our society. The last thing I have to cover is the harmful content that is being produced by the media. Obscene media is only harming our children, thus degrading our society. All forms of media have changed. It seems that all have thrown subtlety out the window and looked to scandalous material to carry their ratings. Unfortunately, it has. And also, the marketing in these industries has gone to the extreme with the saying, sex sells. Women are used seductively in just about anything you can think of, even fast food. The U.S. obscenity law defines a piece to be obscene if it lacks serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. So it blows my mind to see shows like The Real World, which showcase sex, drugs, and drinking being aired daily, year after year. It is only exposing our children to these immoral behaviors at a younger and younger age. It's time the U.S. starts actually enforcing laws like the one of obscenity that can decrease the degrading of morals in society. While it might be a while before our goals realign with those that were set in ancient Greece, it is certainly something that we as a democracy should strive for. Our society is currently plummeting, but that's not to say it can't be saved. By bringing up our standards for mediocrity and accepting the fact that college isn't for everyone, we'll begin to see more people rise to their full potential. Once we start protecting marriage more closely, it will begin to gain the admiration that it once had. And finally, by enforcing a simple law that was enacted to protect us, we will allow for more positive material to flow through our televisions. The sooner we realize and enact these things, the sooner we can begin again to lift every citizen in the quest for excellence.